everybody. This is Annie, and that's Fenella, and that's Miss Muffet. And we're visiting We Companions today. Welcome to Animal Bond Academy. Founded in 1998, We Companions is an all-volunteer 501c3 nonprofit organization with a mission to rescue and place in forever homes guinea pigs, rats, hamsters, rabbits, and other small exotic mammals. Today, we discuss with We Companions President Fenella Speece the importance and the value of small animals.
I think there's probably a misconception that the small, the wee pets that everyone thinks every child should have as maybe a starter pet is an easy come-by pet, easy maintenance pet, and that encompasses guinea pigs, rabbits, hamsters, rats, mice, maybe even a chinchilla. And what we have learned over the 22 years of doing this is that far from being easy starter pets for children, they're actually just pets in their own right that need to be respected despite their wee size. Their care can be quite complex, their handling can be quite complex. And if you consider their medical needs, especially here in California, you need to have an exotic vet that's specifically trained in exotic animals to take care of your small pet. So all those animals, all those species I mentioned will go to an exotic vet. And in the rescue world, you'll often find that rescued animals don't always come healthy, robust, ready to go onto their new home. You'll often find that they come with issues. Could be as simple as malnutrition, but you need to be trained to recognize that. So it just seemed the more that we did, the more that we got to know these little animals, the more we realized what we didn't know. So it's taken many, many years of studying and education to learn their needs, so we can talk to folks and educate folks on the basics. We still need our exotic vets for those veterinary needs. We're not that elevated in our own minds, but we continue to adore them, and we promote that despite being wee, they can be very big in people's lives, and the commitment can be great, you know, and should be great for any pet, whether it's a horse, a dog, or a hamster. This is Mr. Norman, and there's actually nothing wrong with Mr. Norman. He was bred as a hairless or almost hairless guinea pig, and his breed is now called a skinny. And it's become very popular, and of course, being a mutation that then became popular, they have their own issues too, and their maintenance is a little bit more than the average guinea pig with a full coat of hair. Mr. Norman is beautifully healthy and very handsome.
He is so handsome.
Yeah.
Can I hold him?
Yes, you can hold him. He'll feel very strange to you. Doesn't he feel strange?
Yes.
And hot. His skin is hot.
They're hot. Their skin is really warm when we adopted. His little heart is beating so fast. His little heart is beating so fast. Feels like a guinea pig to me.
He's actually a neutered male, and he lives with a harem of 3, and they are looking for a new home.
So they're 4 together?
Well, there's 4. He's most fond of one of the girls. So right now we have him with one, his favorite wife. And so at a very, very minimum, we are adopting him out with his one girlfriend. And if the people were open to it, they could have a family, instant family of 4, so that he gets to stay with his girls.
He's very snuggly.
He's very sweet.
He's so
He's very
snuggly.
affectionate.
Wyatt is so he's blinking his eyes like guinea pigs do. I love it. He's a good little pig. So why? Sorry, totally like. Why is it so important to make sure that you're not putting unaltered males and females together?
As a rescue, we promote the fact that you shouldn't be breeding because there are so many unwanted guinea pigs out there.
Yes.
Guinea pigs have a long gestation. It's around 70 days, which is a long time, and that's why the babies come out fully furred and bright-eyed and they're nibbling on hay. But people will often get animals that have been together, mixed sexes. They often don't realize that the female is pregnant if there is a female in the group. And the female can give birth and will immediately come into heat again.
Yes.
And the poor mums, because they come into heat constantly, if they're kept with males, it's very hard on their bodies to be bred time and time and time again. It's pretty unfair on them. So, you know, we promote that you don't do that. And also it becomes a challenge to place the babies in good, safe homes. And you have to be able to recognize the males from the females, the boars from the sows, so you can separate early by 1 month old. Otherwise, the pattern continues to repeat itself. So, you know, if there's going to be breeding that's going on, it has to be done responsibly. And until there is a great home for every guinea pig, my heart says, you know, I want to concentrate on the rescued guinea pigs. But I'm always happy to give some advice to people who are in that situation where there's breeding going on and it's out of control. We encourage people to bring the babies into our center so we can sex them and give them advice and help them out with the babies. Correct nutrition for mom and the babies as they grow. So we try and do our part, but we see it quite often.
Oh my goodness, I love him. Oh, do you have the
Mr.
hiccups?
Norman.
Do you have the hiccups? Oh, he's gonna fall asleep.
They eat more.
They do.
Because they don't have the fur to keep them warm, so their metabolism is faster. So they eat more. And what happens when you eat more? You poop more.
You poop more, okay.
So we tend to find that their cage needs to be more frequently cleaned. And their skin does need some special skin care. They need to be kept very warm, especially during the cooler months. And you just need to be a little bit more attentive to the condition of the skin.
I've seen. Awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, so can you tell us now, this is a guinea pig with hair.
She's a coronet. She has like a little crown on the top and she's long haired. This is Jenny Wren. And she's one of our oldest residents for guinea pigs. She's almost 8 years old. And she has been an ambassador. She's been to children's parties. She's been to events where she's met the public. She has been with special needs groups. And she's worked actually pretty hard. And because of her advanced age now, she's really just enjoying her retirement. And she'll be with us now for the duration, but she's been an absolute joy. She's just easy to hold and gentle and pretty, and people seem to love her. So
an 8-year-old pig is senior, very senior.
Definitely a senior. Rabbits, you know, can live 12 to 14 years now. That's not that unusual. The smaller animals, the rats, the mice, the hamsters, 2 to 3 years on average. If you get to 3 years, you've done really, really well. You know, to have a child experience getting a young animal, a young hamster, and watching it grow up with them and experience it as an adult, and then watching it go into, you know, senior years is a great experience for children, but it doesn't last an awfully long time. But sometimes that can be a little bit beneficial, and dare I say, if the children's interest is waning a little bit in the pet, with the pet, by the time the little pet is getting older, it's sleeping more, it doesn't need to be out as much, doesn't want to be bothered as much. That kind of goes along with the circle of life. Whereas with a guinea pig living up to between 6 and 8 years, if the child is losing interest by 2 years, you've got a problem, because you've got potentially many years left, healthy years left of that guinea pig's life. Well, what separates out these animals from a lot of other animals is that they actually do need to chew. Believe it or not, their teeth grow, and grow quite quickly, and they need to eat healthy, hard, crunchy foods, or healthy, crunchy, fresh hay, to keep their teeth ground down to a healthy level. Without feeding your animal the appropriate diet, you may well end up with some really bad dental issues, which could be very complex and very expensive and unpleasant for the pet. So optimal nutrition, and animals like guinea pigs, rabbits, chinchillas, hay is about 75% of their diet. So if you're a family that has allergies to grasses or hays, it's not going to work that well, because living in a fog of allergies for a family can be miserable. But your animal needs it. It needs it for its teeth, and it needs it for its digestive system. And as time goes by, of course, those allergies can get worse. And then the animal is put in the garage, or it's put outside, and it's no longer part of the family. And out of sight, out of mind. So that's not a life for a pet. So yes, do check your allergies in the families, and if you find you're allergic to grasses, then research some other kind of pets that need a good home. This is Candelaria, and she's about 5 years old. She's a chinchilla, and she was adopted from us and then got returned. But we have someone eagerly waiting for a chinchilla to adopt. And so we're just watching her to make sure she's adapting to the change well. And she'll probably go out next week. And she seems healthy and active and has adapted well to coming back into the rescue. So we're excited to place her.
And how old is she, and how long do they usually live?
She's about 5 now, and they can live 20 plus years. It's a long time. It's a long time. They need a very cool environment, especially here in California. They need air conditioning, at least in the room where they live, to keep them nice and cool during those warm summer months that we have. Their diet has to be kept very simple. Basically hay, a good quality pellet, the occasional little treat that's healthy, and then just lots of interaction. They're not always great cuddlers. They love to interact with you, and they're very intelligent, and they bond with their owners beautifully, but they're not always the cuddly little pet that people think that they want. But they are adorable.
They are
And they feel so soft. Chinchillas are definitely nocturnal, very active at night. If they have wheels, they love to run on their wheels. They'll jump from level to level in their cages and bang about and do the things that chinchillas do at nighttime. So yes, you have to be aware of that. If you're not a very sound sleeper, a chinchilla or a hamster may not work for you. So if your 8-year-old wants a chinchilla, mom and dad, you better be prepared to keep that chinchilla for the next 20 years,
That's a 20-year
please.
commitment.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little more information about how great hamsters are and what kind of environment would be best for them?
Well, Miss Muffet is a Syrian hamster. Of course, she's one of the bigger breeds of hamsters, and they tend to be fairly sweet-natured, although it really depends on the hamster themselves. A hamster will live 2 to 3 years. They are very nocturnal. They're very nocturnal like chinchillas. So early in the morning, if you're an early morning riser at 5 or 6 or 7, you can probably find your hamster out and give it breakfast and enjoy some early morning time. Or late at night, they love to be out on their wheels and exploring and eating. However, yes, during the day, they like to sleep. And some Syrians I've found, you can wake them up and they're just like humans. They can be woken up and they're in a great mood and everything's fine with the world. If they're like me, if you wake me up in the middle of a sleep, life isn't so sweet straight away. And so they need time to be woken up. And you can do that by, just moving their bedding, talking to them, waking them up slowly and giving them time to wake up and be ready to come out and see you. And if you can train them with some really nice, sweet, healthy treats, they'll probably learn to be quite happy to be woken up. Limited times. Now, a classroom situation with a lot of noise, a lot of children, I'm thinking a large class, where every child wants to have a chance at interacting with the pet, it could be very hard on a hamster, very hard on a hamster. So I probably would not recommend a hamster for a classroom situation. And even a guinea pig situation, you just have to make sure it's the right kind of guinea pig with a thriving personality that loves the attention, the energy of the children, loves to be approached, loves to interact. And I think it boils down also to the teacher.
Yes.
And the teacher's attitude. My philosophy is, are you a teacher who adores guinea pigs or small animals that are willing to share them with their classrooms, but take them home?
Right.
At least at weekends, if not each evening, and certainly in the holidays. I'm against the animals going out to different homes every weekend. I think that's very unsettling for the animals. The families are usually very excited to have them home, so they have them out a lot and they give them a lot of attention. But it isn't always beneficial for the animal to have that degree of change every week. And sadly, I've had calls where it's the end of the school year and the teachers are looking to place the animals with the rescue because no one in the classroom is going to take on the responsibility. But sadly, the life of that little creature has not been respected for what it is, if then at the end of the year it is basically given up to a rescue. That is not the philosophy I would like to promote in a classroom. But I've had some great teachers have animals in their classrooms. It can work, but I think it comes down to an absolute respect from the teacher for the small animals, having the right animals, the right environment, and you teach your children how to respect the animals. The children are hungry to learn about taking care of animals, and for some children it's their only experience of a small pet, and they love it. They'll come in, they'll spend extra time with the animal in the classroom. They could be encouraged to sit and read to the animal. That would improve their education. But I don't want to underestimate the significance of it. I just think you have to do it the right way.
Right.
Okay.
Who's this beautiful lady with the pink eyes?
So this is Sugar Cookie. She is a pink-eyed white New Zealand white bunny. She's quite a big bunny, not the biggest we've had, but she's a big bunny and is sweet-natured, mildly shy. And she came from a local shelter, and it can often be difficult to place rabbits that are white with pink eyes. For some reason, humans get a little bit unsettled with the pink eyes. So we decided to promote her to being our ambassador at our adoption center as our free-range bunny, and she gets to greet the visitors that come in and the children and get treats from them. And it's an attempt to obviously introduce people to the fact that you can have a free-range bunny and a bunny can be litter trained, but also that the pink-eyed white animals are really not as scary as people think that they are. They're just as sweet-natured as any other animal, and we hope that by having her as our ambassador that people will also fall in love with her as much as we have. She is, I think, about 3 now, 2 to 3 years old. And she hopefully has several years to go as being our ambassador bunny here at We Companions Small Animal Adoption.
Okay. Well, that's it for us. Thank you so much for visiting Annie and Fenella and We Companions
And
Sugar
Cookie.
I know. So we'll see you next time on Animal Bond Academy. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.